WFBR and Camp Wanna Have Some Fun proudly presents Who the Fuck Cast That Guy? With Uncle Nicky. The only R-rated spoiler-filled review given to you by a guy who can't tell you the last time he saw the movie.
Hey everybody! Well, the courts have not yet seen fit to let me go of my community service. So we're back with another movie review. All right? It's another beautiful Monday. We're out here doing some fun. We're making some magic. So let's see what happens. All right. Good morning, Carla. You're on with Uncle Nicky.
Nicky, it is I, Alexi,
Oh, hey,
down
how's
at
it going?
Butcher's shop. We need to have word. Listen, you are
What?
to be owing me for last 36 pounds of brisket you picked up last
Okay,
weekend.
that's fair. That's fair. Listen, can I swing by after I'm done recording this?
Also, I am to be
I got the
needing you
cash,
to
you just
replace
need to-
giant inflatable Wiggly Man you got in fist fight with last time you were
Let
here.
me ask you another question, though, since I got you on the line. Can you think of a movie that I could review?
Okay. Why are you needing movie to review?
You see, the thing is this, all right? I record this public access program where I review movies that are out. So I kind of give people spoily synopsises that aren't really that spoily because I completely screw them up and I don't remember the actors as anything else they've been in. So I can't remember, in not remembering the name of the actors, I reference other movies they've been in. It's a whole thing.
Is this what
all right?
basis for comedy these days?
Yeah.
Then I will pick Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, it's very good.
Okay, sounds like a good deal. Yeah, I'll see you in a little bit, okay? All right. Okay, guys. So, Princess Mononoke. Whew. This is going to be a little bit of a trip. Are you ready? Okay. Make sure you're strapped in. You got your hot cocoa. You're ready to go. All right? Here goes. So, this is a cautionary tale on two friggin' fronts. All right? First off, okay, don't be that ex. That is the subtitle of this movie. All right? Don't be that ex. And I'll tell you why. Because you're just hanging out. All right? Picture, if you will, you're a young lady. All right? Hanging out. Having inherited the family hat shop. All right? You are a haberdasher. All right? And, of course, you're a haberdasher because you used to be Mackenzie from the newsroom. And Lord knows, doing that job, stressful as hell. So being able to do something else, something low impact, like running a haberdasher's, so much easier. Just so much easier. So you're hanging out, sure, you might in fact, dress like you're Amish. That's okay. You know what? Nobody's going to make fun of your fashion sense, are they? No. Okay. But here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. When you're out and about and doing your normal shit, and Batman wearing a really bad blonde wig comes across you because you just kind of, in fact, come across these Harlequin shadow monsters, all right, you know what? That is an inconsequential meeting of two individuals, all right? You used to be working for a major fake broadcast network, all right? He used to be the savior of Gotham City. You've both decided to, take refuge in a small, what I am only guessing is some kind of pseudo Japanese, European town. I can't quite tell how that works, but I digress. So, you're in the middle of this town. You're doing your business. You're taking care of your haberdashers. You're haberdasherian, right? And you're having a good day. And you run across some Harlequin shadow puppets. Okay. They might be the Ooze. They might be the Ooze from that one Power Rangers movie. Who's to say, right? One of the Ooze things from the... What? Yeah, could be. They weren't working, so now they're working for, oh my God, for the worst ex-girlfriend on the face of the friggin' planet. So, anyway. You're wandering through the street. And Batman picks you up, scoops you up, and you just start floating. Okay, fine. All right, maybe there was something in that tea that you got in the process of you doing your general shopping. who's to say? All right. Again, you know, you're living a much more relaxed life. You're dressed all cash. You're just doing your thing. And so Batman gives you a lift, decides to float you over town. That's fine. Okay. That is perfectly okay. Nobody's going to feel bad for that happening to you. But here's the problem. Just because you had that one inconsequential meeting, how do you instantly become a target for the ex-girlfriend of Batman? All right? Who has magic and puts a curse on you so you automatically become an octogenarian. Like, how is that fair? All right? Listen, okay? Here's my thing. All right? You've got a situation. All right? You got a situation. First of all, you're the Witch of the Wastes. All right? That just happens. That just happens to be Batman's ex, is the Witch of the Wastes. All right, cool. All right, and sure, you've taken on a new name. You are now known as Howl. That's fine. We will accept that for what it is, okay? We all understand that you got to take on a different name just in order to cover up your butt. That's all right, okay? That is perfectly fine. And yes, all right, there might be a little bit of an age gap thing going on there, given the fact that, Batman's ex is slim from to have and have not. I realize, that's kind of tough. You used to hit on Humphrey Bogart. Now you were dating her, and now you guys are just because you're not into her, and that should be okay. That should not be grounds for you as Batman's ex to put a hex on some poor kid just trying to haberdash you. All right? Nobody wants to be going about haberdashing, and all of a sudden you get put a curse on you because some guy smiled at you nicely. That's screwed up. Right? Like, who needs to deal with that? So, nothing I can do about it, right? Uncle Nicky don't got nothing to help. So, obviously, in order to get this fixed, friggin' he's going to have to go, she, Mac from Newsroom, the haberdasher, is going to have to go friggin' find Batman, who lives in a walking castle. Now, here's the thing, all right? This castle, he might have gotten it cheap. I'm not saying he did, all right? All I'm saying is it looks like part of one of the two-dimensional animations they used to use in Monty Python. Okay? Okay. That, I said what I said. And I don't want to be mean about it, but anybody who's ever worked in a body shop can look at that thing and go, holy God, there's going to be like a couple $1,000 worth of work that needs to be done to this thing. I don't know what you guys have been doing to keep it together, but it is not right. So you got Mac from the Newsroom, haberdasher, cursed haberdasher, stops haberdashering to go find Batman, a.k.a. Howl. Yeah, we know who you really are, okay? This is not working for us. All right, so here's the thing. So she has to go on a very long walk, all right? Which is tough because now she's like 80 or some shit. And that's not great, When you get to 80, you shouldn't have to be doing like mile-long hikes. You shouldn't be like doing fucking, what's the name from the Sound of Music, up on the top of the mountain spinning around and crap. Nobody needs to deal with that at that age. But here she is. She's going about her business, trying to get through her day, gets turned into an 80-year-old by Slim from To Have a Have Not because she broke up with Batman because Batman's not that into her. Okay, cool. You know what? Fine. All right. And now, you've got her. Mac is wandering out in the middle of nowhere, not capable of haberdashing. In fact, trying to locate a broken-ass castle, all right? Which every single time it stops moving, I'm afraid it's not going to be able to keep moving. There's some serious structural issues there. And don't even get me started on the housekeeping. We'll get there in a second. So eventually, Mac from Newsroom, who is now the haberdasher's daughter / haberdasher herself, who's now not capable of doing that because she's 80 years old, has found the castle that belongs to Batman. And the friggin' kid from Hunger Games. Okay, sure, he was really young at the time, but that does not give him an excuse. All right? That does not give him an excuse. Moving on. So, the kid who plays Peter, right? Is it Peter? I think it's Peter. Yeah, the kid who plays Peter from. I realized that when I say Peter, it sounds like Peter from Family Guy. This is a Boston accent thing. What can you do? Anyway, so the fact that he plays Peter, all right, the fact that later on in life he's gonna become this survivor of the Hunger Games. Okay, I could see that being the natural progression of where we are at the end of Howls, because everything's fucking war. Everything's war. Guess what? There's a bunch of people with LDE wandering around. All of them are in power, so they've decided to start wars for no good reason. And of course, the wars that are going on, everybody wants their best advantage. So what do? They end up trying to solicit all of the magic users in town in order to help them out, which includes Batman and Batman's ex, Slim from To Have a Have Not. I'll tell you, a lot of stuff going on here, right? Meanwhile, right, Mac from Newsroom has found Batman and his shitty two-dimensional Monty Python leftover castle and goes, oh my God, this entire place is a mess, right? Peter is working as a young assistant for Batman, all right, but not Robin, all right? Nah, did not make him a Robin. I'm not saying that that's because he doesn't trust him as much as he trusts any other kid who loses his parents due to a, trapeze accident. But, for some reason, he decides that this one isn't going to be a Robin. Instead, this one likes to dress up as an old man with a giant gray beard. Okay, so anyway. So, Mac from Newsroom finds Batman's castle, all right? And goes, God damn it, this whole thing's a shit stack, all right? This is awful. I don't know what we're going to do with this, all right? And along the way, I should say this, along the way of finding Batman's castle, comes across a scarecrow with a turnip for a head. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. And the answer is yes. You do, in fact, know at least one person in your life who you would call turnip head. All right? At least one person you know right now has the complexion and the caucasity of a turnip. All right? So, anyway, this very well-dressed turnip was tipped over, and Mac from Newsroom helps it back up, okay? You got to stop tipping over. Oh, you're a scarecrow. Oh, wait, but you're a live scarecrow. Who's hopping around and trying to be helpful? I understand. Thank you very much. It's very good of you. Okay, cool. So, we have this nice little cadre of individuals, right? And you've got Mac from Newsroom who's like, oh my God, I found your castle, but this is pretty amazing, but it's friggin' a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be your housekeeper. And Batman doesn't even bat an eyelash. But then again, Batman has always collected old English people to do the cleaning for him. So it does kind of fit in his motif. I mean, think about it, right? I'm not saying this is very on brand, the whole movie, except for the magic. All right. I'm not saying this is very on brand, but Batman's ex trying to kill him and anybody he knows. Batman having an old English person who cleans his house, and Batman having a young ward who's learning from him. Also, can't help but point this out. He does have a tendency to leave this magical Monty Python leftover castle at night in order to fight crime or stop the war. Okay. Sure, Batman. Sure. So friggin' the place is a mess. Of course it's a mess. You got one guy who doesn't do anything at night and sleeps all day and takes very large hot baths. And you've got his apprentice, which basically runs the place. And you've got Miracle Max as their fire. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute there. All right? Miracle Max. He's a fire now. He used to be an old guy. I'm imagining he pissed his wife off enough that she just finally cursed him to be a flame. That's how that worked. All right? So anyway, you get the whole thing, right? This is how the house is made up. And you find out that Miracle Max, as a little fire thingy down there, little fire demon. He's adorable. but he basically talks like I do. He's down there and he's like, "Give me firewood. I'll keep the castle going." And he does. All right. He single-handedly is power in the castle, though. Given the fact that it looks like it's about 10 seconds away from falling apart, I wouldn't be too celebratory for Miracle Max here. Obviously, he's lost some of that miraculousness since he was an old human underneath a tree stump or where the fuck ever he was. Anyway, so the whole thing's going on, right? You got this whole band together. You've got Mac from Newsroom who's cleaning everywhere, right? You've got Batman who's going out at night. You've got Peter from Hunger Games who's the new Robin, but not a Robin, and he's basically running the house when Batman's out or sleeping or whatever. Okay, all right. So I said there's a war going on, and then it was a pointless war, which probably leads into them dividing the country into districts, which leads into, the Hunger Games. But what you got to do is you got to recognize that, being sneaky, Batman has used his magical castle with a door that goes to 3 or 4 different doors, right? And 2 of those doors are different magician offices with 2 different names. You know what I smell? I smell shell corporations. Sounds like somebody's not willing to pay his taxes. Batman, you scoundrel. Willing to beat up people who stole a sandwich, not willing to pay your own taxes. I see how it is. All right. So the doors to these 2 shell companies, they both go to the magical castle that's being powered by Miracle Max, who's now a flame demon. Okay, cool. So you're like, okay, this is the way it is. And both of the doors get knocked on. And at both of the doors, there's a summons from the king. And the king's like, hey, I need you to come. We need to talk about this whole war thing. I need your magic in order to get rid of this nonsense. Okay, cool. Fine. Works. So he's like, darn it. I got to be there. I got to be at both places at the same time. What am I going to do? Oh, I know what to do. I will continue to be the person that I always wanted to be and not do anything other than what I want to do. And you, my new female haberdasher turned Alfred, who used to be Mac from the Newsroom, and young Peter, a la Robin, can go pretend to be the 2 different versions of me, right? Or one version of me and my mother, and go talk to the king and be like, hey, guess what? Your war's fucking dumb, so we're not doing it, all right? So they do this, and guess what? On the way to the castle, who do they run into? Slim from To Have a Have Not. The ex, right? The ex who's trying to kill fucking Batman because, she wanted to be with him. But, listen, okay? Okay? Here's the thing. Not trying to be mean here or anything, but the dude's just not that into you. You need to be okay with that, all right? Move on. There's plenty of other slender, feminine fish in the sea, okay? Okay? He's very pretty. Batman is very pretty in this movie, but I digress. So here's the thing. So little kid Peter dressed up as an old wizard, and Mac from Newsroom, who used to be a haberdasher, who's now Alfred for Batman, right? Who takes care of the budget Monty Python castle that's being powered by Miracle Max, the Flame Demon. They go to the Kings. And Slim from To Have a Have Not is there, right? And gets out and is like, well, I'm going to go to the meeting with the king too. I got summoned. Okay, we're all there. We're all going to do our thing. Well, Slim from To Have a Have Not gets invited into a room. And in that room, a bunch of big light bulbs turn on, right? Very obviously, this was a setup by Thomas Edison, who we all know was an asshole. And he has utilized his technology to suck the powers out of Slim from To Have a Have Not. Friggin' listen, I realized she was trying to kill Batman, but you know what? Nobody deserves that. So she basically gets turned into a potato. All right. So you got a potato Bacall, right? You got Potato Bacall, who's like, I can't do anything anymore. I don't have my magic, and what am I gonna do? And I can barely get downstairs. I'm stuck. Meanwhile, Haberdasher turned Alfred, right? Had Alfred, no, I can't do it. Had Alfred, right? Goes in to meet with the king. Oh, it's not the king. Oh, you're not meeting the king. You're meeting the king's wizard. Ooh, who used to be the teacher of Batman. Ooh, and Potato Bacall, who's now a potato. Ooh, and you find out, right? She's the royal magician, right? She's got powers. She wasn't trying to invite him so that they could take sides. She was trying to invite him so that she could suck the powers out of him and use them herself for the war. Okay, great. That's a fantastic plan. I mean, it's a little evil, but you know what? You were working for a monarchical, patriarchal society that had forced its labor force into a war that really had no purpose. So, yeah, you were pretty much on brand with that one. So, like, you've got Haberdasher Alfred, right? Haberdasher She-Alfred, and you've got Peter Malak turned Robin, right? And they're both like, we ain't doing this for you, okay? This is not how it's going down. Okay, cool. And it's like, all right, I guess that's the way that is. And then friggin' all of a sudden the king lands, right outside of the meeting that these two are taking, right? And then they've wheeled in Potato Bacall because, what else are you going to do with her at this point? She's a potato. You can't really do much of nothing. She's a talking potato. Again, sometimes it happens. Anyway, so all of a sudden, this dragonfly thing lands in the backyard, all right? And the king comes strolling in, and he's like, oh, hey, how's it going, everybody? Everything going okay? Cool. And, you're like, oh, okay, the king is here. That seems pretty nifty. But then the door opens to the rest of the palace, and it's the king. Guess what? Batman's a master of disguise, ladies and gentlemen. He's, she's, theys, and gays. It's Batman dressed up as the king. It's very sneaky. So, Batman's like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be fighting your stupid war. You can kick rocks. And yes, you know what? You may have been my teacher, but now I am the master. And we're going to peace out. So, Potato Bacall, Alfred the Haberdasher, and Mini Peter Malak / Robin get onto the flying thingy and take the head wizardess's dog with them. Talk about sticking it to the man. Stealing the man's dog. Which kind of looks, we could do a whole thing on the dog because I don't even know what the dog was because the dog kind of had chicken legs to it. Apparently everything that's not human has chicken legs in this movie. Who's to say? Anyway, so they take off, right? And they're being pursued by the king's guard. And Batman's like, I'll hold them off because I have the ability to fly. And I also have the ability to use my magic and make it look like you're going in two different directions at the same time. So you'll be invisible for a little bit. So there you go. Fly off and da-da-da-da. And so he goes one way and they go the other. And so Alfred the Haberdasher, right, is flying the little mosquito thingy, flies, goes towards the castle, right? The castle has settled in. Everything's perfectly fine. And you got Batman and the fake version of the mosquito going the other way, right? Here's my thing, all right? The king's sorceress turned Slim from to have and have not into Potato Bacall, all right? And you're like, you know what? Maybe this is a life lesson. Maybe this is a sign that you've been taking things too far. You lost your magic and now you're a potato. This happens. It happens. They take her with them. And I kind of get it, showing mercy to your enemies is an evolved form of living, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But my problem is this. My problem is the fact that you have a potato human on the back of your vehicle who never did anything good and never wanted anything good for you. And there they are, just hanging out, and you're going to invite them into the house, and you're going to have them chill, and everything's going to be fine. And kind of sort of is for a little bit, but guess what? The king not very happy with Batman. You know why? Because the king not only got no, which you know kings don't like hearing the word no, but then you've got Batman's old teacher, female Ra's al Ghul, and you're like, oh, she wants revenge too, so she's sending Harlequin, Ivan Ooze looking creepies all over town trying to locate him, right? Sending soldiers from the king all over the place to locate him. It's a friggin' mess. So Batman's like, we're relocating the house. That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna put it right beneath everybody's nose, right? So he does this thing where he manifests a whole new house. Pretty cool trick. All right, pretty cool trick. Needs a little bit of Miracle Max, the flame demon, in order to get it done. Gets them where they need to go. They got a new house. Everybody's got their own bedroom. It's a nice little cottagey situation, but it's right underneath the nose of the king because it's right inside the city. Oh, I'm sure this won't go badly. So here's the thing. They relocate, right? And Alfred, the old haberdasher, gets back up to business, right? And everything's going smoothly and everything's going all right. And Batman's going out at night to fight things, right? And it's all going okay. But then you realize something, right? You realize that Batman is more than one Batman because Batman has now become Birdman, which means that he's both Bale and Keaton at the same time. So Birdman is how we're going to be doing that from now on. Birdman, the wizard, is out here, trying to stop the war from happening, fighting both sides at the same time, trying to nullify the magic, but at the same time being like, you guys are friggin' idiots. What are you doing this for? And so you've got Alfred the haberdasher, right, who's hanging out, who still hasn't had that curse lifted. Potato Bacall is now a potato, right? But Alfred the haberdasher is still old. I mean, always dressed old, but that's a whole different thing. All of a sudden, there's a knock at the front door, right? So they open the door, and it's Alfred's mother. Oh, I'm getting married again. It's fantastic. This is great. Blah, 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 blah. Look at the house you got for yourself. It's fantastic. You should come with me. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, okay. Trap. Like, how'd she have any clue? Like, how'd she know? She didn't know. You know who knew? Lady Ra's al Ghul. That's who. That's right. Lady Ra's al Ghul knew exactly where it was going down. So, Lady Ra's al Ghul, like Alfred, the cleaning lady's mother, comes out, gets into the vehicle, goes, they're in there. And then a whole bunch of Ivan Ooze motherfuckers, in Harlequin getup, start storming into the house. You're like, you guys don't believe in personal property? Like, this doesn't, you're not violating my rights? You don't have a warrant. Get out of my house. But they start doing it. And so it's like, oh God, this is going to go badly. So they're like, oh, we got to figure things out. Oh man, these monsters are trying to get in. We got to move the house. Oh my God, this all got to go down. It gets really hectic really fast. And Birdman isn't anywhere to help, right? So of course, Alfred the haberdasher is trying to do all of this with Peter/Robin and Potato Bacall. And Potato Bacall ain't doing anything important, not being helpful at all. And so they're like, okay, we finally made it safe. Okay, cool. Everything's fine. And in the process of this, right, we've had another dust up. And Alfred the haberdasher is like, oh man, I gotta figure this out. So I gotta find Bad Birdman wherever he is. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna use the door that nobody else is allowed to use. Oh, this'll go well. Okay, cool. So does that. You know what? Goes back to the past. Ooh, and goes back to the past and sees something that explains everything, and it's this. Okay, so one day when Batman was very small, he was out in the middle of a flower garden, I think, like Rolling Hills or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, it was out there in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden, A shooting star, which was Miracle Max, who got kicked out of his house because his wife was like, I can't stand this anymore, turned him into a rocket, threw him out into the cosmos, finally landed on this planet. In the process of doing that, gets swallowed by young Batman. It's like, you know what? We're going to make you whole, buddy. We're going to do this. You take my heart and you can remain here on Earth, right? That's how we're going to do this. We're going to trap you in my heart and you're going to run my mystical Monty Python-esque castle that I got for a steal because it's a piece of shit. And so it all goes down. Now, while all this is going on, and while Alfred the Haberdasher is figuring out exactly how Bat-Birdman came to be, Bat-Birdman came to be, sorry, right? As she's getting the origin story, right? The issue 0, right? Potato Bacall is smoking the biggest blunt you've ever seen in your life, right? And you're just like, oh my God, right? So, Bat-Birdman, right? Out there in the field, in the middle of childhood, swallowing the thing, giving his heart to the little Miracle Max demon, and Potato Bacall is just smoking a fat one. And you know what? That fat one, that's right, it's a tracking device. So they got them read to rights, my friends. They know exactly where they are. So this giant blunt, right, ends up telling Ra's al Ghul and all of the cronies exactly where they are. It's a nightmare. And they start wrecking crap, right? So you've got this whole conflict going on while you've got Alfred the Haberdasher trying to figure out exactly how to fix, Bat-Birdman, right? Takes care of all of that. You've got Ra's al Ghul's dog, who basically was giving away the details until the dog realized they had a better offer from this wandering group of crazies, right? And then you've got Peter / Robin, who's just like, I don't know what to do. I'm a kid who sometimes wears a beard, okay? I'm standing here in the middle of a wreck of a castle because the castle gets completely decimated in the effort to try to save our Bat-Birdman, all right? And it's tragic because you're thinking to yourself, sure, it was a wreck, but at the same time, you could relocate any way you wanted to. So who needs to worry about transportation when you could just tell the house to go? That's fucking sweet. And who squandered it? That's right, Bat-Birdman. Bat-Birdman squandered it. But you know what? Somehow, being the dingus that he is, Alfred the Haberdasher still falls in love with him, right? Sure, she might be cursed to be 80, but sometimes she's not, and sometimes she is, and she's working against the curse, I suppose. But you don't really explain the situation, because apparently all magic is linked to your heart. Okay, cool. So, Alfred the Haberdasher comes back through from the black door that she used, the door she's not supposed to use, and she finds Bat-Birdman, and Bat-Birdman is worse off than ever. And you're like, oh man, this sucks. And it's like, but you know what? She does? She kisses him. Oh, that made it better. So they're gonna fly off and they're gonna go locate their friends, Turnip Head, and they're gonna locate Potato Bacall, and they're gonna locate Peter / Robin, and they're gonna locate the dog with the chicken legs. I don't know. Anyway, so all of a sudden, right? They all get back together. They're on one walking plank of wood with 2 chicken legs. It's doing a bipod thing over the hills and through the dales and everything, right? You get the whole party back together, but they got to fix Bat-Birdman because he's about to die. So what happens? You got Alfred the Haberdasher goes over to Potato Bacall and goes, listen, it's never gonna happen. You're never gonna be a thing, all right? I love you for you. All right, we got to accept each other as we are, including just friends sometimes, and we got to move on. And Potato Bacall's like, yeah, you may be right. I mean, I've had enough leading men. I guess I don't need Bat-Birdman too. And Alfred the Haberdasher's like, thank God, the first decent thing you've done this entire friggin' adventure. And so they take Miracle Max the Flaming Demon and stuff it straight back into Batman. Just shoves it in there, like whole-handed. And it's like, I might die. And Alfred the Haberdasher is like, you might not. And it's like, I guess we're going to see. I guess we are. So the whole thing goes down. And it's very tense for a minute. Because they're on a bunch of planks of wood on 2 chicken legs, just wandering through everywhere. And you're like, has the war ended? Has the war continued? Has everybody been foiled? Is it going to keep going? Who's to say? Like, it gets really, really tense for like about 10 seconds. And then you know everything's going to be fine. Because it's an anime movie, and let's be fair here, right? Like, who's going to kill off the Batman? Even if he's the Birdman, right? So she shoves it into his chest. She shoves Miracle Max, the fire demon, into his chest. He regains his heart, but then Miracle Max, the fire demon, becomes a sprite. And out it goes. Oh, and Turnip Head. All of a sudden, the Scarecrow, he's hopping up and down. He's living a grand life. And then Turnip Head's just like, oh, wait, I'm a prince. Like, legit. I was the prince. I was also cursed by Potato Bacall. She has a thing for younger men. And I can't blame her, but you know what? Just because they reject you does not mean you get to curse them. Everybody, I'm talking to all of you here. Everybody. Okay. So, the Turnip Prince is like, you know what? I'm back to normal. I'm going to go and I'm going to tell my folks that this whole war needs to stop because it's stupid. And my friends have had to deal with all of your bullshit. Well, I've been turned into a turnip this entire time. Right? Okay. So it's fine. He's back to normal. He's going to go take care of things. Alfred the haberdasher turns back into a young person because she broke her own spell because girl power. And then Potato Bacall, she's going to end up living on, basically they make her a retirement area on the new version of the castle that they build. Here's where we're going to have problems. You had the whole thing fall apart. You all survived by this much. You decided that in version 2.0 of the castle, you were going to make it just as shitty as the first one. Oh, but it flies now, Nikki, you're saying to me. I don't fucking care. So what if it flies? It's still a piece of crap. Like, it looks like you slapped together a bunch of pieces from a bunch of different kinds of architecture. You were just like, oh, we're just gonna duct tape them together. It'll be fine. Who's gonna clean this mess? The dog had at least the audacity to tell off the mom, right? To tell off Ra's al Ghul, right? It's like, guess what? We're out. I'm not coming back. I'm sticking around with these fine people. They're all fantastic. You're an ass who tried to start a war and got a lot of people killed. And that's how that happened. And you're like, okay, happily ever after. You couldn't have gotten better retail. I realize, okay, I get it. You built it to fly. That's fine. And it walks. And who knows? Maybe it's a submersible too. But it still looks like crap. And it's going to be hot as hell to clean. And upkeep is going to be a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. So, yeah, sure, you stopped the war. Yeah, sure, you're still pretty as fucking ever. That's fine, all right? Yeah, you've got a pretty hot haberdasher for a girlfriend, all right? And all of this is cool and great and wonderful. But you are never going to be able to pass a single inspection when it comes to that house, my friend. I can only imagine that might be what all of those Shadow Ooze monsters were. They were all walking around. They used to be health inspectors who tried to inspect the moving castle and were like, oh, this is never going to pass. And Batman was just like, bah, gooey person. You can't talk anymore because now you're an evil Jello monster. So yeah, that's Howl's Moving Castle. I would give it like 4 out of 4 stars, or 4 out of 4 Donkey's cups, like extra large iced coffees. That would be me. It was fun. It was interesting. It was nice to see that Batman could retire. I mean, sure, he didn't really get out of the spotlight because then he just took on magic and it made it all much worse. I really feel bad for Miracle Max and his wife and the fact that they couldn't resolve anything. I think that Lauren Potato Bacall should have been turned into a potato way before this movie started, because if you're gonna be that toxic when it comes to your Rexes, you need some counseling. All right, counseling. I'm just saying. There are other things you could do with your time. Most of them are battery charge, have batteries built into them and rechargeable. I'm just listen, okay? There are better things in life to do than curse the haberdasher that your ex met for like 5 minutes, okay? You could spend your time doing worthwhile stuff and not screwing everybody over. And lastly, but not leastly, Haberdasher Alfred. You are an amazing hat maker. You are an amazing house cleaner. And hopefully, now that you're in a relationship with Batbird Man, he will not make you clean the house all the friggin' time himself. All right? But what can you do? I'm sure that there are times where you're like, honey, you gotta take care of this. And he's just like, I'm Batbird Man. And he jumps out of a window. So you do the best that you can. But you two crazy young kids, you're gonna have very pretty babies. I bet. Okay? So yeah, fantastic movie. Howl's Moving Castle. Check it out if you get an opportunity to. Until next time, this is Uncle Nicky saying, who the fuck cast that guy? A friend told me about a movie. Oh no. Oh no. But I'm not there. Why is there a gray box here? A friend told me about a movie, but I'm not sure I've ever seen it. Can you help me out with a review? Oh no. The movie is called... I don't want to hit this button. Oh God! No! God damn it. Well, that's the end of Thirsty Thursday, guys. I'm glad that we had this time together. The movie is called Mac and Me. Fuck. You ever sitting at home Saturday night, 3:23 in the morning? I guess technically that's Sunday. You've had about 14 too many Jaeger bombs. You can't figure out who shit your own pants. And you're watching E.T.? Yeah. Guess what? It's not E.T., it's Mac and Me. All right, let's do this. So, once upon a fucking time, Steven Spielberg, the fucker who made Jaws, made a movie about a scrotum from outer space with eyeballs who could talk. Yes, it's that gross. Moving on. That movie was a giant fucking deal. I mean, it made every coked up executive in Hollywood hard, including the jackasses who owned McDonald's. So you know what they thought to themselves? They thought to themselves, I just realized at least one of you is sitting in an airport right now. So hopefully I'm not getting too many people. Hopefully you're all wearing headphones, because this is only going to get worse. He's not lying. So fucking everyone, every single coked up executive in the 80s got absolutely hot at the money that E.T. made, right? Eminem was sitting in a fucking corner crying to itself because it said, oh no, you can't put our candy into your movie. They went with Reese's Pieces, and Reese's Pieces had the best year of its fucking lives after that movie came out. But I digress. So everybody's thinking to themselves, fuck, how do we make a movie about a walking, talking scrotum? And at some point, somebody did enough lines of coke that they thought to themselves, I got an idea. All right, hear me out. We're going to make an alien movie. We're going to shove all of our McDonald's money into a fucking feature presentation. We're going to have at least 30 minutes of pure, unadulterated McDonald's in this fucking movie. And we don't care whether or not the plot makes any fucking sense. Okay, cool. So, the story goes a little something like this. Apparently, NASA, in its infinite fucking wisdom, but with a budget of roughly $200, put together a interplanetary probe that lands on a foreign planet. We never find out what planet they've landed on, but they land on a planet. And that planet is apparently uninhabited by only 4 naked, very sad looking, unmelanated aliens. And those 4 sad aliens see this probe land, and it's taking samples with, of all fucking things, a repurposed claw to scoop up a little bit of dirt, and this giant dryer hose, which apparently is going to suck up samples, though at no point in your fucking life would you want anything creating friction, that much friction, to be attached to something that was traveling through space, but we're going to leave that alone. So here's over here this fucking probe that was built by my cousin Donnie after a weekend of just like drinking anything that comes in a glass bottle with a handle attached to it. Fucking the probe lands, starts collecting samples, and in the worst bit of parenting you've ever fucking seen in your life, the aliens, I'm blaming both Mama Alien and Father Alien. I don't fucking care. All right, first of all, none of them have genitals, so I don't know if it's a father-mother situation. I don't know if it's a shorter, taller situation. I don't fucking know. Nor do I fucking care. Nor am I gonna ask any more questions. The point is fucking this. All right? In the worst bit of parenting I've ever fucking seen in my life, they allow this child, to wander over to the industrial vacuum, and it gets lodged in the vacuum. Now you're saying to yourself, dimensionally, how does that work? Oh, don't worry. Using at least $250 million worth of special effects in the 90s, they did a fucking swirl take where they simply took a picture of the alien, shrunk it in a fucking oven like a shrinky dink, and then shoved it up the fucking hose. Oh my god, an entire alien fit into that probe. You say to yourself, no, I say, because the other fucking 3, having seen that child just get sucked into that machine, proceed to the fucking hose. Like fucking morons, because, hey, why not? That thing just sucked up our kid, so we're gonna walk straight at it. And guess what? Shrinky dink up the fucking hose. Okay. Cut forward in time, in space, in legitimacy of film. Magically, the probe's back on Earth. You don't see anything having to do with anything. You don't for a second say to yourself, oh, the aliens that it sucked up are probably dead by now because it had to travel light years to get back to Earth. No. The probe returns. They put the probe into a clean room. They start going through the probe. They open a panel, and one of the fucking alien faces is just like, hey guys. And you're like, the fuck? The thing starts bursting into flames. There's cheap flames, cheap explosions. The aliens get out of the fucking thing, right? Out of the probe, completely unscathed, and they get out of a secure NASA location. They're able to escape the location. Nobody shoots them. There's no fences that we can speak of. Listen, if the military security were really as bad as it is in this movie, the United States of America will be utterly fucked. But somehow they managed to escape a giant airplane hangar and just wander off into the distance. And nobody pursues them. Nobody pursues them. Nobody goes after them. No fucking nothing. But wait, because it gets fucking worse. Because the two parental aliens with the wee baby alien go left, and the fucking little kid, the one who fucking started this whole shit, who I honestly, listen, I love my children, but if one of them ever got sucked into a fucking NASA probe, I'd be like, you kind of earned it. But fucking the little kid who caused this whole fucking problem to begin with, he goes right. The parents and the wee baby go left and somehow end up in an old coal mine from the 1800s. We'll get there. So the kid alien wanders into traffic, gets hit by a car, ends up in the back seat of a car. Okay, cool. Ends up in the back seat of a car where they're going to... They weren't alien fucking royalty. Listen, Kay, I don't want to judge nothing, but here's my deal, okay? Here's my fucking deal. I hit no rednecks when I fucking see them, all right? All right? Families from Boston, all right? We even have fucking rednecks. These were... The reason why these four are wandering naked in the middle of nowhere on whatever fucking planet they live on is because the rest of their highly civilized society is living comfortably inside of a walled up city that NASA could never detect. Meanwhile, it kicked these four fucking morons out of its city because it's like, you're doing damage to the collective intelligence of our entire species. Just get the fuck out. Anyway. So the kid alien ends up in the back of a station wagon of a family who is moving. No, it's a minivan. Fuck it. It ends up in the back of the minivan. I can't believe you're making me do this. And they move to a new house. It's the mother, the older brother, and the kid. Now, here's the thing. I don't know the name of these three people, nor do I fucking care, all right? So, the three of them are moving into a new house. We don't know why. Don't know if it's for work or whatever. Mom works at a department store. The brother doesn't do anything. The little brother doesn't do fuck all. We don't know where the dad is. They can afford a house. 1980s money. It must be nice. Working at a department store, being able to afford a home and a car. But anyway. Oh, God. So all of a sudden, things start going weird at the house. And the little brother, he notices, which includes, but is not limited to, a saw being dragged through portions of the house, large plants being transplanted into the living room. I mean, it's a fucking mess. And they keep blaming it on the little brother. And you're like, what the fuck is the matter with... This is an uprooted palm tree, and you're blaming this on a child? Like, what kind of backhoe equipment is this kid got access to? So the little brother's getting in trouble, but discovers the alien at some point. Finally introduces the big brother to the alien. Tries to introduce the mother to the alien. The mother doesn't fucking believe any of it. And then, in a scene that goes down in the history of cinema that Paul Rudd has shown on multiple occasions, the kid ends up falling into a river that is completely open to the public in their backyard. All right? So the kid's drowning in the water. The alien jumps in. The alien kid, the one who fucking caused all the problem, including using a bandsaw in the fucking house, including bringing in multiple pieces of the outside world to live in the living room. The alien kid decides to jump into the water to save the kid who fell into the river. All right, cool. So fucking, you're just going, okay. He saved the kid. Are we supposed to feel better about this situation now? So the little brother and the alien become friends. The little brother gets invited to a birthday party, which is at McDonald's. Shaka. So he decides that he's going to dress the alien kid as a teddy bear. A 4-foot tall teddy bear that moves independently and has the button eyes of the teddy bear's skull removed so the alien can see out of the teddy bear's skull. And it is both the most creepy thing and the most fucking ridiculous thing you've ever seen in your life. Because at this birthday party at McDonald's, which takes up at least 2/3 of the film, I'm pretty sure, the teddy bear stuffed with the alien kid proceeds to do a dance number on the counter of this McDonald's without any of the staff throwing a fit that there is a teddy bear dancing on a food service surface. Try saying that 5 times fast. Nobody, not a single adult, not a single kid, nobody raises any kind of red flag at the fact that there is a teddy bear 4 feet tall dancing on a counter of a McDonald's. It's just a magical place where apparently shit like this happens. Because both the fucking 80s, cocaine, and McDonald's. And I know that was 3 things, but I feel like the 3 went hand in hand. The 80s were a different time. This is fucking true. So, at some point, white men in suits who never identify themselves start snooping around because apparently a department of the government decided that they're like, hey, maybe we should go looking for those aliens that escaped. Maybe. We're not going to do like a broad sweeping search. We don't have helicopters in the air. We're not too worried about the alien biological entity wandering around what looks like Pasadena. We're just going to fucking, we'll send out 2 guys, Harry and Steve, with walkie-talkies. It'll be fucking fine. But Harry and Steve somehow Ouija board where the alien is, locate said alien, and start chasing the kids who are desperately trying to help the alien do something. Now, the alien never communicates. So this, unlike E.T., who is a scrotum who could talk, this is a scrotum who can't talk because they were never going to pay for there to be animatronics built into the head. All of these aliens keep one expression the entire time. So the alien kid somehow communicates to the little brother that they need to go to the desert to find his family. So the older brother steals the minivan after leading the 2 white guys in suits on a raucous chase, which includes but is not limited to the mother's department store where every electronic device in the place blows up. They end up in a minivan out in the middle of nowhere to find the family. And they recover the 2 alien parents and the baby alien. And they're sickly and on the verge of death. And do you know what brings them back to life? The power of prayer. No. Love. No. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola brings the 2 parents and the baby back from the brink of death. We've had a dance number in a McDonald's and the healing powers of Coca-Cola. I feel like I should end the episode right now. Just leave that fucking there. McDonald's would have been a good bet. I don't know, Caddy. Or maybe it was that last shipment of Coca-Cola that had Coke in it. That's it. Jamie's on it. Jamie's on it. Fucking yes. So the kids pick up the aliens, put them in the minivan, and they're driving back, and they're like, "Listen, yes, for real, Kay. Watch the fucking movie. No, you know what? Don't worry about it. Just take my synapses and be like, you know what? This is all I ever need to know about this film. Keep Pandora's box shut, okay? Do this in remembrance of me." So, fucking, the kids are like, "Oh, we found the parents and they're alive," kind of, sort of. We're going to take them back and do something with them? No real plan has ever been formulated as to what you were going to do with 4 aliens once you've discovered that you now have them in your minivan. But they start to drive them back. It's nighttime by then, and they have to stop at a gas station. Okay. And the gas station is across from a supermarket. This is very important. So the kid parks, the older brother parks the minivan to pump gas into the minivan. And it's like, okay, it'll be fine. Everything's fine. I've got 4 alien life forms in my back seat. It'll be good. So the older brother's girlfriend, who, I'll be honest with you, like, that dick must be banging, because honestly, I don't know at what point you could convince me on a first or second date situation to go out into the middle of the desert with you and pick up alien life forms. Like, if I'm in a minivan that you're driving and you're like, "Hey, we're going to drive out into the middle of nowhere," wait until I make a couple of calls first, because I want to know if people know where I am, just in case you decide to leave me in a shallow grave. But anyway, so it's the older brother's girlfriend who works, guess where? If you said McDonald's, you'd be correct. The McDonald's where they had the party. It's all connected. See? This is premium narrative. They stop at the gas station. Older brother's pumping gas. Girlfriend's just hanging out. Little brother's in the back seat. Somehow, without anybody noticing, the 4 aliens get out of the minivan, cross the road, enter into the supermarket, and proceed to start knocking shit over. And at some point, steals the service revolver off of a police officer. In this process, the entirety of the fucking state of California's police show up. The tallest of the aliens walks out with a service revolver. Now, here's the thing. Not saying that white privilege was a thing back in the 80s, but a naked alien with a loaded gun was able to leave a supermarket without getting shot at least 47 times. The fact that the cops didn't shoot the alien unarmed and then drop a gun next to it and be like, "Oh my God, he had a gun." Like, but anyway, now here's my problem. For anybody who knows weaponry, these cops have revolvers and they have shotguns. All right? This is very important. A shotgun primarily has scatter shot situations, has a limited range. Very important for this next part. So after leaving the supermarket with a loaded revolver, and the shorter of the adult aliens has a bag of groceries, they start walking across the street back to the minivan in the gas station, as though nothing has transpired. The cops are yelling warnings in English because that'll help. And then I don't remember who shoots the first shot. But what I do remember very distinctly is that once it was realized the aliens had gotten out of the minivan and were in the supermarket, all three of the kids ran towards the supermarket to figure things out. They are trying to defuse the situation, including the little brother. The little brother is near the cops yelling, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." They don't know what they're doing. This is important. Space is important in this situation because in moments directly after warnings have been made and a shot is fired, one of the cops with a shotgun, who is parked over in the parking lot of the supermarket, discharges the shotgun with such pinpoint accuracy that one shot blows up the entire gas station. And somehow, without causing any bodily harm to the little brother, kills the little brother, who was standing right next to the cops, right next to the cop cars. No damage to the cops, no damage to the cop cars. Little brother somehow has been blown up. They lay the little brother in the middle of a 2-lane road in the fucking desert. And they're like, what are we going to do? We're shaking him awake. We're trying to shake him awake. And I'm not kidding you. in this moment, there is a camera shot choice where there is a camera shot from above the scene. There's cops, there's the older brother, the girlfriend, there's the aliens, there's the kid laying in the middle of the road, and there's a shot so that you're looking down at the whole thing. And visually, the implication is that you are seeing things from the person, and that's another thing. The camera shot keeps moving out, this hovering camera shot, so you're like, was the director and the first AD, were they implying that the camera shot is the soul of the kid? Like, it's the weirdest fucking choice. And the aliens, in an effort to revitalize the child, not having been taken into custody by the cops, mind you, the aliens circle the kid, whistle, and bring him back to life. Hard cut. Skips ahead. Those two guys, the two white guys in suits, yes, whistle. The two white guys in suits who were pursuing the kids, not the Coca-Cola, oddly enough. The two white guys who were in suits, we hard cut to a paved walkway surrounded by gorgeous grass, and a car pulls up. And the two white guys who were pursuing the kids jump out of the car and start running down the walkway. And you flip around, and there's this big building. It's a very iconic building. Though I couldn't tell you which building the fuck it is. You cut to this building. And cut again to the inside of a courtroom. The two white guys in suits are like running through the halls of this building. They get to these two double doors. They push open the doors. It's a courtroom that's full of people. You're thinking to yourself, oh my God, the aliens are on trial. You'd be wrong, because it is oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. It is a citizenship ceremony where they are introducing new citizens to the United States. Everybody's got their right hand up. They're all repeating after the judge. Pan around, and there are the four aliens. The tallest one is in a suit. The shorter of the parents is in a dress. And both of the kids are dressed in, you guessed it, McDonald's merch. Oh my God. United States. Not even going to talk about immigration. Moving on. The kids who helped them, they're there. The two kids who helped them, they're there. The girlfriend who apparently has been dragged along through all of this is there in her McDonald's work outfit. So like, did she come from work? Is she going to work? Did she think she was going to be there in an official capacity? She needed to wear a dress blues. I'm like, what? All right. And the mother of the kids is there. At no point does the mother go, oh my God, I'm terribly sorry that I didn't listen to you. There were aliens this entire time. No resolution there. None whatsoever. Fucking hard cut to an aerial shot of the alien in the suit driving a convertible pink Cadillac, merging onto the highway and driving off. And the last thing you see is animated letters pop up. And it says, we'll see you soon. And I don't know if they were implying that there was going to be a sequel or it was a threat. But then the scene goes dark and it cuts to the credits. And for all of my money, if I were the director of this abomination, I would have had them scrub my name from the title. Oh my God. And that is the retelling of Mac and Me. And I'm going to have to go take a fucking shower. The budget for the film. I'm going to look this up real quick because I do not want to speak out of turn. Because I want you to know how bad this was. Oh my God. I can't believe they actually have the, I can't believe they actually... The budget for Mac and Me was $13 million. The budget for E.T. the Extraterrestrial was $10 million. Look at any still image of that alien and tell me that alien was worth $13 million. Oh my God. The box office it made was 6.4 mil. The box office from E.T. was $792 million. And this is 1980s cash. $792 million. This isn't adjusted for inflation. Yeah. It's a fucking horror show. So thank you. Thank you, Stormy, for making me fucking do that. Oh, my sides hurt. Oh. No, it was warning us, Stormy. It was telling us that if we didn't eat McDonald's, they were going to make a sequel and make all of us watch it.